This is John Wright with DVTV, and the Dallas Independent School District is considering a new anti-bullying policy. But as currently written, the proposed policy does not include GLBT students, no specific protections for gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender students. Now, last week we attended a DISD Board of Trustees meeting where several members of the LGBT community approached the board about adding sexual orientation and gender identity to this policy.
So we'd ask the board, as they look at the policy moving forward, that they look at protected groups and invite the board and the district to consider the Resource Center of Dallas as a resource moving forward as you consider this policy or any other policy related to same-sex oriented individuals or people who identify differently in terms of gender. I would encourage folks to learn who the school board members are and make phone calls, much like we do to our legislators. And let it be known that you support this district in taking a stronger stance on bullying, but that you feel like it needs to be taken a step further by including folks who are same-sex oriented or identify differently in terms of gender expression.
It's time for America to start being the beacon of the world. Stop dimming your lights against the LGBT community and light the way. It's time for the President, the Secretary of Education, these school boards to protect children from this kind of mental and physical damage that is happening as a result of bullying. Step up, speak out, and make it right.
We also attended a rally in Oak Cliff where several LGBT advocates talked about what can be done to make our schools safer amid the national gay teen suicide crisis.
And I can tell you that you are not alone. There are people here who are ready and willing to help you. So anyone listening out there who is going through some difficult times because they are different, because they look different, they think differently, they act differently, just know that you are not alone, and please stick around. And I have to quote my friend over in Fort Worth, Joel Burns, who said, "It does get better." We want them to be here. We want them to know that things do get better, and we want the people who are doing the bullying to stop. And really, I'm here as an advocate for the DISD folks to take note and to know that there are some elected officials who are definitely advocating for some of these changes to happen. And I think you'll see it in their next draft of the bullying policy.
I just want to leave you with one thought. If our children were experiencing this kind of treatment in the workplace as adults, there would be cause for action to make it stop. If our children were experiencing the kind of harassment and assault that adults would experience in their neighborhoods and could call the police, there would be cause for action and those people would be arrested and convicted.
The only thing that seems to be effective with kids, studies after study has shown, is to name it. If they don't know what they're doing wrong, really, so you can't treat a kid like that, no, you have to name it. You cannot call this kid a fag. You cannot bully this kid because you think he's gay or because he is gay. And that's the most important thing. It's what's effective, and we need to empower teachers and staff and faculty to step in the moment and make it stop. And I think that's what's going to be effective for kids.
Now, we spoke this week with a Board of Trustees member, Lou Blackburn, who now says he plans to introduce a substitute policy that would include sexual orientation and gender identity. The question remains whether Blackburn can find enough votes to get that policy passed. He and others are urging people to contact their trustees. You can find contact information for the trustees on the Dallas Independent School District's website, which is at www.dallasisd.org. And this has been John Wright with DVTV. For continued updates on this story, visit our website, dallasvoice.com.